AB joined the PVT 2022 team this past year and created a huge impact. She attends Langley High School in Virginia and will be attending and playing at Gettysburg College. And during this interview, we'll be talking about how she joined PVT in her final year of AAU and her experience as well. So for our first question is, when did you join PVT and why?
All right, so I joined PVT just this past year. And AAU was tricky for me because I've always bounced around between teams. And it's a hard position to be in because usually it's good to stick with one team. But I just couldn't find the right fit, and I was really looking for a steady program that could really develop me in 1 year and help me get to where I wanted to be in 1 year. And for me, that was PVT for multiple reasons, but the biggest one was probably Coach Crystal, because obviously she's a great coach. I knew her a little bit from high school because she is the assistant coach for my rival school. But she's a great coach, and I didn't necessarily see that from the sidelines of a high school gym or high school season, but once I got to know her, once my dad reached out to her through email, once I got in touch with her, it was crazy to see, how much she wanted me to be a part of her team and how much I wanted to be a part of her team because of just the energy she put off and how hard I knew she worked off my initial impression of her.
Yeah, 100%. I saw that too when I first joined. She just has this crazy energy about her of just wanting to push you to be your best. And
Mm-hmm.
the team she's created in the past, like for how long she's been there, have always just had such a great community around them, which is because of her and her impact on them.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you joined in your last year of AAU, so which is again like crucial for college recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of mentioned this, but what was it about the team when you first met them that kind of drew you in?
Well, I think Crystal did an amazing job with picking the right girls for the team. Because it's first practice, it's supposed to be awkward. You don't know these people, but I felt like immediately included in the atmosphere. It was just all the girls were such great girls. I just wanted to get to know them better, and I could just tell we were going to be good teammates. And it did take a little bit, because it's a brand new team. I had never met most of these girls, and some of them I had just played against. So it was just, it was like we're supposed to be enemies right now. But it's just the great girls in the gym and just the energy Coach Crystal helped put into the gym with those new girls and new faces. It was really easy to get to know everyone on the team.
Absolutely. So the next question is, what advice would you give to others who are searching for a new team or recently joined a new team?
I would say look for someone who is trying to help you as a person. A lot of times, the best programs or the best teams are focused around, who can make you the best player, and that's great. But I want a coach who's going to push me as a person. I want a coach who's going to make me a better person, and also look out for my teammates. I don't want to just be like recruited to be the only one the coach looks at, or if a coach has favorites who they're only giving certain attention to certain players. I want a coach who wants everyone on the team to be successful, and that means a lot to me. I want my teammates to be just successful as myself.
Absolutely. And I just want to say this, but she's was my teammate on PVT 2022, and the exact thing about like Coach Crystal is something I think you also do. Is like you always just push everyone else their best, kind of just amazing within PVT. So I just want. So next is, how did PVT help you in your college recruiting process?
Oh gosh, tremendously, to put it simple. College recruitment was something that intimidated me a lot. I didn't understand how it worked, how to get started. It was just overwhelming. And I feel like in general, I decided pretty late that I wanted to play in college. Um, because that's such a big decision. And I just didn't know. I knew I loved the game of basketball and it would be really hard to put it up. But I ultimately obviously decided to play, and I couldn't imagine not choosing that. But
Hmm.
I just didn't know where to start, and I knew I was hopping into it a little bit late, and so I literally just went to Crystal with that information, and I said, like, I know I'm late to this. I need help. Like what can you do for me? Please help. And she knew exactly what to do. She's very experienced with this, and she says the right thing every single time. She has no problem reaching out to coaches. She has no problem being honest with me on what schools I can make it to, what schools I can't, what schools she knows she can push me towards. Like, she just knows her stuff, and she's very great with communication and coaches. And I don't know, I feel like everything just needs to go to Coach Crystal when it comes to recruitment because, obviously my teammates are pushing me. Everyone's motivating me to make the right decision and get to where I want to be, but Coach Crystal is just the center of it all.
Yeah. And I just like, we've talked about this in previous IG lives as well, but she's so organized, but she also makes such good connections that she can give you based on what she's done in the past and she's doing currently with getting those opportunities for each player.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you received a ton of college interest from all 3 levels. How did you decide on Gettysburg?
Gettysburg, to be honest, I reached out to a lot of colleges. Coach Crystal reached out to a lot of colleges, but Gettysburg reached out to me. And that in and of itself was special to me because they sought me out within a lot of players. And if I'm just going to narrow down on Gettysburg, it is the perfect combination for me in terms of academics, location, and sports. Coach Davis and Coach Badecki are amazing coaches, and I've only seen them in person a couple times, but they reach out to me every week, sometimes like many times a week, how I'm doing, how my team is doing. And I just feel like I'm already a part of their team. I'm already a part of their school, even though I've gotten in, I've accepted, but it doesn't always feel that inviting, because I'm not actually there yet, but they're doing a great job of just making me feel at home already. And I don't know, I just feel like all around everything was perfect with Gettysburg. I just got perfect vibes.
That's awesome. Congratulations again on the signing and everything officially.
Thank you.
Of course. So up is you've had a pretty remarkable high school career so far. What's some advice you could give to our middle school players on how they can prepare for high school basketball?
Oh yeah. High school is different. I remember in middle school, I was so, so, so excited to finally be in high school and to finally like play basketball at that level. And I would sit on, this is a little bit embarrassing, but as like a 7th and 8th grader, I would go to Langley games all the time, like every single one I could. And sit on the bench every time I could. Like, I just wanted to be in that atmosphere. I was so excited for it. And once I got there, I loved it. In terms of advice, I would say it's different. It's a different pace. It's a lot more defensive focused, in my opinion. Defense matters, and defense is what's going to win championships, win games. And that is, for at least my high school, that's the biggest focus is our defense. And sometimes you can get away with that in AAU or just in pickup or anything basketball related. But at the end of it, defense is what matters most. And defense is the most important thing for me in terms of high school and for my team. And that's what we focus on most.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's awesome. So next up is you are known to be a pure point guard, and I can definitely speak to that. What are some skills that you think younger players should work on to be a successful point guard?
I think first thing is building trust. As a point guard, not that there can't be other leaders on the court. There definitely can, and there definitely should be. But I feel like the person who brings up the ball is the person who sets the tempo, who calms the team down. Just a lot of players look up to you, whether you're a captain, whether you're a leader on the court. It doesn't matter. If you're the point guard, you're setting the tone, and people look up to you. And you need to be under control. You need to have control of your team and have control of, not that you can control the other team, but you can control the game, which will ultimately control the other team. And you just need to lead your team as someone who they can look up to. And something I enjoy about being a point guard is I'll always take an assist over a bucket. Like I just love passing the ball, and that's important to me. And sometimes that's not what a team needs in a point guard, but for me, that's my favorite part about it. I would so much rather make a good play to give a teammate a basket than get one myself. And that's just like a part of the love of the game for me, is just assists over points for myself. And I don't know, I feel like if that's in you, that's a good quality to have as a point guard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like with like the defense and the also assists, I think a lot of time basketball is focused on like, oh, everyone has to score points, and then people lose focus of like you can't win games without defense, assists, or anything like that. And so
Exactly.
I see in what you're saying, it's always focused on teamwork and how you can work together and not just scoring points. It's about like
Hmm.
rebounding, who's getting stops on defense, and all like the assists too as well.
Yeah, it's about so much more than the numbers, and that's something I always try to tell people. A lot of times people get caught up in the numbers, and a lot of times other people influence you to get caught up in the numbers. Like when I see all these articles getting put out about who has the most points, who has the most, all of these things, I'm like, dang, like I want to be up there, but it's about so much more than the numbers. It's about heart, it's about effort, it's about everything, how you can lead the team, and it's just so much more than numbers. It's so much more than just a game.
Absolutely, 100%. So the next question is, even though you only joined us about a year ago, what crucial skills did PBT teach you?
um, I'd say first is leadership, because I had no idea how to lead these people. I had never met them, but I tried to pick up as quickly as possible. But something you got to learn as you go is that everyone takes leadership in different ways. You can't tell one player something too harsh as you can to another player. Like it's different for everyone, and you gotta get to know your teammates.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was something new for me because I'm used to sticking with pretty much the same team, maybe a couple new players here and there, but I still have my group I can travel with and I know how to lead, but leading a whole whole new team is hard. And it's not like I was the only one doing it. Like everyone knows you're a great leader on PBT. We all look up to you and so many other players on the court, but I feel like as a point guard, I knew I had to earn players' trust and I had to lead them. And that's something I had to learn, like almost starting fresh because this was a fresh team.
And I can say you did a amazing job at that. I think
Thank you.
even with MPBT is that you instantly took up the job and you were so dependable each time, and like it was just like the connection with like this team especially I feel like was almost instant just with
Yeah.
and leadership is a big part of that. So I just want to say that because that's true. Um, Next up is, what was your favorite memory of PBT?
I was thinking about this earlier, and it's really funny because Lancaster, Pennsylvania has to be the most boring place. But with you guys, it was so fun. Like the amount of random stuff we did, like literally so random. Alpaca farm, who does that? Like that, but that was so fun. It was like no matter what we did, we could be doing anything. Like just us being together was so special. And I don't know, to think of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, like when you take a place like that, but you bring family to it, like it's just so different. I just remember so many memories. I can't give you one. Like I just can't. Um, but just being with each other, we could make anything into a huge memory. Like it was just us together.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I remember all our trips there, and it was always something new, thing you never think of. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how did PBT differ from some of your other AAU teams without, like, you don't have to say any names, but just how they differed?
Yeah. Um, for me, it was more personal. A lot of teams and programs who are known for, maybe the best college recruitment or the best, coaching staff. I saw that. I saw that in programs and I saw that in teams, and it's attractive. And you want to go play for those teams, but I wanted someone who cared about me as a person and who wanted the best for me as a player and person. But I just feel like a lot of programs are misleading almost because they're going to push you and they want what's best for you and they want to get you into the top colleges you want to go to or have the best basketball experience, but you don't feel a connection to them because they're just, they're treating you like robots almost.
Mhm.
And I wanted to be treated like a person and I wanted to find connections with my team and with my coaches. And I just felt immediately loved by Coach Crystal. Like you never feel like just a little pawn in her game or anything like that. She just treats you like a person and it's amazing.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of the time when you're with other organizations that don't really focus on you as a person, it leads to losing the love of basketball. And I know many people, and many of my previous friends who were basketball players, they lost the love of basketball because they had a fit that was focused on points and numbers and not
Yeah.
in teamwork like PBT is.
Yeah.
So for our last question tonight, in one word, how would you describe PBT?
Oh, this one's hard. I think what I ended up okay, this is cliche. I know it's cliche. But what I have to go with is family. Oh my gosh, and I see Coach Crystal's comment and I literally just want to cry because I'm not gonna cry in here. Okay, but for real, like PBT is family to me. Like it did.
Take
Like
your, you're good.
you gotta keep you talk for a second. Talk
All
for
right.
a second.
Well, I will trip down memory lane, and I've really loved talking about this. Honestly, I think family, definitely 100%. The people I've met on this team have been people that have seen me like my darkest moments, but also my best moments, and I could not imagine having another team here ever. They've been some of the best people in my life and the most supportive ever too. So, yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna push through. I met some of my best friends on PBT that I'm still. Oh my god, my mom commented, dude. Um, no, but for real, PBT. As soon as I got there, we're family, obviously, but just the more we progress in our season, the more I love them. And teammates are always special to me because, dude, this is so embarrassing, literally so embarrassing. But I just feel like by the end of our season, it was never like it never felt like a chore to care about my teammates. It was always like if someone's on the floor, it's not my coach telling me I need to go pick them up. It's me feeling like, oh my god, like my teammates on the floor, like I want to pick them up. They're part of me. They're part of my heart. And I don't know. I just feel like, especially going into the season with so many of new PVT teammates as my previous rival, like Kara and Shushan and Mia, I'm supposed to hate them. Like they're on McLean. We're rival schools. But in our last game, like last time we played them, I sprinted from half court to pick up Shushan because that's family. And I don't know. Oh god. I don't know. I love them all so much, and some of my best friends. Coach Crystal, stop. We're
Yes,
just best friends, and I love all you guys.
I love you too. Um, but I definitely I think how much you care just shows kind of you are a leader, first of all, but also like just how big of an impact PVC has made on honestly both of our lives. And it's just like, it's such a family. You're totally right. That word in one word. Well, so much for coming and for all you said and like talking about your experience and honestly some of the obstacles you faced. And I really appreciate it. And I'm really happy to hear from you. Also, I'm pretty sure everyone too. And thank you. You're
Yeah.
all,
Well, sorry I ended up crying, but I love you guys, and thank you so much for having me, Nora.
of course, anytime.
Bye.
Bye. And I just want to say also, thank you everyone for tuning in and listening in to this interview. Again, this is the IG Lives with former and current players, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll come back next Sunday. Have a great night.